Welcome into the Behind the Wall podcast. Today, I want to introduce you to the future of the Penn State offensive line. Kevin Brown out of Harrisburg is a top 50 player in the 2026 class, the number one player in PA. Penn State does continue to dominate the state, as they say. Now, he is 6'5", 260 pounds, and that's exactly how Trout likes his offensive linemen. I would expect him by the time he gets into Penn State, he'll probably be closer to 280, 285. But at the same time, you want your guys lower. I've talked to Trout about this. He would rather you come in a little bit lower and they can put that weight on you. You get in the weight room with low C and build that up, get in the nutrition bar, get some extra shakes, then have to come in at 320 and then say, hey, we need to trim a good 15 to 20 pounds of fat off and then rebuild the muscles. So where he's at right now and where he's sitting, I think he is in a great place body-wise. And after watching Kevin Brown's tape, I could see why this kid is so highly ranked, and I could even see him being a 5-star by the end of the cycle because he has some really good one-on-one reps at these camps, but just his intangibles, being able to move in space. He's incredibly athletic. That's a big piece of his game, getting out in space on those screen blocks, blocking guys up. He also just plays angry, loves to put dudes in the dirt. And anytime you're an offensive line coach, it means a lot when you have a finisher that goes not only through the whistle, but through the echo of the whistle. It's fun, and that is what Kevin Brown does. So let's hop into the film room, and let's see what we are getting out of Kevin Brown next year. All right, we're going to start out taking a look at Brown's run game, and right away you just see him collapsing the entire line, pancaking three different guys. The first thing that I really like is just check out his pad level. Barely changes throughout the rep. You see how from his stance to where he goes, he stays low, and then he gets on that hip of that defender, and then you're just going to see him collapse this entire thing. Unfortunately, what did not work out well in the backfield, but Kevin Brown is mauling dudes up front. And then after you see him also, he is really good going to the second level. And you're going to see him try to pancake someone on every play. But what I like is he's not out of control, but right here, he gets up quick. He doesn't waddle. He doesn't take too long. He's under control. He's making sure that he's not going to get juked out, but he's still getting up on that linebacker, getting paws on him, and then driving. And, always finishing Kevin is. Now, this is probably my favorite play on the tape. Out of there for a touchdown. And of course, pancaking again. I love his stance, but they're on a deuce combo block here. Watch how he boom. Do you see how he just displaces that defensive tackle just all the way into the other gap and then wheels back? That's the athleticism that Kevin Brown has. Wheels all the way back, gets on the backside V of that linebacker, and then is a touchdown out the gate, and he's pancaking him. I lied. I said the last one's my favorite, but Kevin Brown right here, this is literally the movie The Blind Side, except Kevin Brown and there he goes off the screen. I genuinely don't know if I've seen anything like this. The angle makes it even funnier, but him just taking his dude, see you later, 30-plus yards down the field. Oh, my gosh. I love the way that this guy plays and just is a mean streak. All right, now let's take a look at Kevin Brown's athleticism, and it is all over this tape, just wiping dudes out. I like that he uses the flash technique right here. That's getting the lineman to kind of rush upfield, take that bait, and then boom, shuck him upfield. He gets flat. He's looking for work, not seeing a lot. Finally wheels back, finds some work, and then just takes out two guys right there. That is the epitome of Kevin Brown's tape. Same exact thing here. Does a good job. And what I like here is how he adjusts. So you see how he comes out, does a good job getting that defensive tackle to come upfield. He's kind of going on an angle up, but this DB is coming fast down. And that's okay if you kind of have a raw angle, but you see that? You see how he wheels back a little bit and then boom, is able to go, get on him. And surely, if it's Kevin Brown tape, that guy's getting pancaked, going to the ground. So once again, just seeing him in space as a young guy being able to move like that, gets me excited because it's not a lot of guys' tape look like this. I know my tape didn't look like this. And then once again, getting out in space, tracking the linebacker, getting on him, and burying him at the feet of the cameraman. If you're wondering what a 5-star offensive lineman's tape looks like, this is that. And yes, I said 5-star because I expect Kevin Brown, he's right around top 50. he needs to be a 5-star at the end of this. He is performing so well, and he is just a dominant offensive lineman anytime he steps out onto the field. Now, Kevin Brown is not only a monster on the field, he has set multiple lifting records at his Harrisburg High School. Here he is right now, PRing at 410 pounds on the bench press. And I'll tell you what, I mean, when I was benching 385 my senior year coming into Penn State, I felt like I was way above and beyond everybody else. But this is next level stuff. This next video is him squatting 610 pounds. A lot of guys don't even get that ever on the offensive line here at Penn State while they're in college. And that is some real weight. And he's getting depth too. He gets low. And because a lot of guys, they try to go super heavy and say, I did 600 pounds and they're doing a quarter squat. No, he gets real depth, gets down, gets up on his own. This cat is strong. And I think Chuck Losey is going to love him in the weight room. I could see him setting a lot of records for not only at his high school, which he's already done, but coming to Penn State to also set some of those weight room records. All right, real quick, let's do an outlook of what the offensive line room is going to look like once Kevin Brown comes in, and really kind of where I could see him playing. Now, I think Rucci's probably gone after this year. This is his 5th year, maybe. Actually, never mind. We are out of COVID years. It's finally over. This is the last year. The guys that are in their 6th year right now, that's it. So Rucci is gone no matter what. I think Donka will be back no matter how good of a year he has, just because limited tape with him being injured and just having to rehab that. So we'll get Donka back. He will probably be at right tackle. Dawkins is obviously out of eligibility at center. Cooper Cousins is projecting at right guard, and I think that's where he'll stay. I don't think Cooper will really ever become a center. I really like him as a guard, and talking to people and talking to Trout and stuff, I think that's where he will project. Venga Ioane will most likely head to the NFL with another year like he had last year. He was borderline close to leaving, wanted to come back for one more, so I think that will probably be it for him. And then same thing for Drew Shelton, who had it was quiet, but Drew Shelton had a great year. There was not a lot of pressure from that left tackle spot, and just overall, his pass pro, his run game, he's been someone that has been playing since his freshman year, back when Olu Fashanu got injured, and Drew Shelton just came in and has done a really, really good job and just gotten better and better each year. Also someone that has played with a shoulder injury, going to be fully healthy for his 4th year. I could see him getting out of here. So there's a lot of space on this offensive line for people to come in and make an impact. Obviously, Cooper Cousins is the future of one of those interior positions. But I could see Kevin Brown, honestly, on a similar trajectory that I was on, where maybe you come in as a tackle the first year, but he projects as a guard to me because he's a mauler. Not necessarily the best in pass pro. Now, that's something most guys aren't great at in high school, and they will work on that in college. And trust me, Coach Trout loves to work on pass pro. He is adamant about making sure you're strong and your kick set in good position, but also just plays with really low pad level. Loves to dig guys out and just down black dudes. So I could definitely see him projecting maybe as that left guard in the future, because we don't really know who's going to play that position down the road. Now, needless to say, I think the future of the offensive line is in great hands, especially with Philip Trautwein. Look, I don't know how much longer he's going to be here. I don't know anything. I know he has gotten offers to go to Alabama, Georgia, all those places want him because he's the best in the business. I don't think he's going to go anywhere in college outside of Penn State. So the only really threat would be losing him to the NFL at some point in time. But I just say, look, enjoy it while we got it, because we have some of the best coaches in all of America, especially in Coach Trautwein. So I appreciate you guys tuning in this breakdown of Kevin Brown. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.